Hey, what's up? This is Johnny Three Tears from Hollywood Undead. You're listening to another podcast with my boy Conklin.
All right, kick-ass new band. We're spinning their new song, Hear Me Now, right here on KCLB Rocks. Album American Tragedies in store April 5th. It's Hollywood Undead, and we've got frontman, one of the many vocalists, Johnny Three Tears, on the line. Johnny, what's happening, bro?
Nothing, dude. Just like you, enjoying the California weather, bro.
There you go. I got a couple questions for you. Which is better, having sex or performing in front of thousands of people?
Performing. I'm not really into sex anymore.
No, it just gets old after a while. You've had it so much.
It never changes. It's always the same thing over and over. So eventually you just kind of get over it.
Now, did you just have that aura about you before the rock band? Did chicks just want to get with you before you started doing the music thing, or when the music thing kicked in, the amount of tail you pulled went up?
Well, no, it was all about the roofies, bro. As long as you have those, it doesn't matter whether you're in a band or not.
As long as they don't see it, right, and nobody knows about it, you're completely fine.
It's all good.
Now, on April 5th, the album is released. Do you call friends and family, tell them to buy the record, kind of like boost the sales a little bit?
No, they're pretty good about it. Well, you get your friends who always want a free copy, which I'll usually oblige. But it's like, hey, dude, you're my buddy. You should be supporting it. But I think my mom makes up for it by clearing out like every Best Buy in Los Angeles. She goes and like she's definitely into it. I mean, we're luckily at that point where we don't really need to do that anymore, but we did do that for years, sell our own tickets to our buddies and hustle them. And it gets old hustling your friends, so I'm kind of over it.
Now, one thing I'm curious about, the record sales. How much of that money do you guys actually see? Do you make your money from the record sales, or do you make it more from the touring aspect?
More from, every band is more touring. It's not just us. Like, that's the bread and butter. I mean, you can make money off record sales, but record sales aren't like they used to be, Back then, 10 years ago, a platinum record wasn't even that big of a deal. Nowadays, it's like, one out of every 50 bands goes platinum. So the sales thing has dropped considerably in the past 10 years. But, most bands just, you make your money touring and going out there and stuff like that, doing the grind work.
With Johnny Three Tears, vocalist in Hollywood Undead, new album American Tragedy in stores on April 5th. Now, Deuce isn't on this album. You got a guy named Danny in the band now. Who is Danny, and why did he not get a cool nickname?
Well, Danny is his name. His name's Daniel, so it's kind of a nickname, but everybody always called him that. Because when we formed the band, it wasn't, those names existed before Hollywood Undead because we had been bands together, so it was kind of more of a friend thing. And when you get a new guy, you can't just include him in the circle. You have to punish him for a couple of years. The first years in the band, you have to torture him and all that sort of thing because he wasn't there from the beginning, so maybe eventually we'll include him, but right now he's still the outsider, and we're going to keep it that way because I have to have someone to bug and torture on the road.
Does the hazing include giving him shit for being on American Idol? Because I read that he was on that show.
That's not, as far as I know, that's a complete myth.
It is?
It's just like Wikipedia, dude. You can put anything on there. There's things about me on Wikipedia that are like bizarre. The most bizarre stuff gets said. If he was on American Idol, I would definitely punish him. But if anybody who watched American Idol knows that's actually not true.
I saw it on there. I found it hard to believe, but yes, it was exactly from Wikipedia. What's the most bizarre thing you've read about yourself that turned out to be untrue?
There's a rumor that I'm a homosexual, which, hey, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but I'm actually not gay. But I think I maybe have a gay vibe. I don't know, but that was the biggest one that I've read where I was like, I'm not gay, but okay. I don't mind people thinking I'm gay, so I'm all about gay rights, gay activism. I go on marches and walks and stuff for the gay man.
Well, then you've probably been to Palm Springs a couple of times.
No, dude, what's funny is about 8 months ago, I was buying a house out in La Quinta.
Really?
And I looked in Palm Springs, and I decided on La Quinta because, I have a daughter, and it's like a little more quiet, settled down area, you know what I mean? And on the last day of escrow, they took away my loan because they're so stiff with them. They approved me. I picked out the house and everything. And on the last day of escrow, I guess the main guy the last dude at the bank who had to sign for the loan, all of a sudden said, never mind, which sucked because all my stuff was packed and boxed up. We were moving that weekend. And then they hit me with that. So I was actually going to be one of your guys' neighbors for a while there, but the bank said no.
That would have been pretty kick-ass. Yeah, if you're into the gay rights activism and all that stuff, it's like a year-long techno party here.
Yeah, dude, I'm wearing one of those shirts with the rainbow on it right now.
Perfect. You would fit in awesomely. Johnny Three Tears from Hollywood Undead. I always like to talk about the groupies the band has. Do you guys ever play any games with the groupies? For example, like who can bang the fattest, ugliest, find one with red hair, maybe a fake leg. Does Hollywood Undead ever do anything of that nature?
I think we more verbally torture the girls. We get them on there and then just belittle them for being there, even though we invited them there.
And just to see how long they stick around or what?
Yeah, just mind games. And then if someone does perform a sexual act, they usually go in the back lounge, and when the girl walks off, we all clap. That's a well-known thing amongst bands. It's called the walk of shame, because you have to walk all the way from the front of the bus, and everybody's sitting on the front, and she has to walk through the line, and everybody claps and yells and hollers, and girls shouldn't behave that way. And if they do, that's their own fault. So I have every right to let them know that that's disgusting.
You know what? It's your right. I mean, me as a fan, I'm glad that somebody is doing that and taking advantage of the opportunities that come with being a
straight guys have rights too, bro.
Which band or artist would you most want to record with? I know you guys incorporate a lot of rap or rock, so artist in rap, rock, it doesn't matter. If you had to choose one, who would it be?
By miles, Trent Reznor. He's been my inspiration since I was a kid as far as writing music and stuff like that goes. If we ever got to do a song with Trent, I would. That's probably the only person I could see, because I grew up in L.A., so there's a lot of these actors and stuff running around. But if I got to make a song with Trent Reznor, that's about the only thing that would make me starstruck or nervous or anything like that,
I feel like Trent is getting a lot more of the hater vibe now because he's making all this money. He did the score. He's winning Grammys and Oscars and everything like that. You still cool with Trent Reznor doing that? I am. I mean, he's making
ridiculous. His money. He made money, and it's not like he did something that was weak. If you saw that movie, the soundtrack was excellent. It's not like he sold out and did something completely different that Trent wouldn't usually do. So I have nothing but love for the dude, and everybody's got to pay their bills. So no, one of our producers, Danny Lohner, who we've worked with on Swan Songs and American Tragedy. He was the guitarist for Nine Inch Nails for a few of their records. So I've gotten to meet him and stuff like that. And when he'd come over to Danny's house, I'd usually go hide in the bathroom because I was such a little weasel, scared like a little kid.
Well, there's people that probably feel like that about you now. Is that kind of weird?
It is bizarre, especially kids. Because when you're 16, it's a lot different than I'm in my mid-20s now. I don't have the same reaction, but I remember when I was 16, I'd meet people like that. It was like, oh my God. So you want to be cool and stuff like that. Cause I remember when guys in bands would be a jerk, outside of a show, and they're like your hero. It really messes with your head, cause these guys are who you're idolizing, and then they're a jerk to you, and it messes with your, so my whole philosophy is I'm just as nice and cool as possible. And I let them know that I'm probably not the best person to look up to, but I'll at least be a courteous and kind and stuff like that. And, you got to take care of your fans, man, because they're the ones who take care of you.
Of course, especially in this day and age. I mean, everything is, viral videos, and it just takes one video of you being a dick, and you're just going to be a dick for the rest of your life, according to other people,
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't want to do that anyway. Even one kid who gets upset by that, you break some 16-year-old kid's heart. I don't want to be that guy.
Of course. Now, do you guys regret using the masks, not because the looks or maybe uncomfortable on stage, but because you probably get asked about them every single time you talk to anyone?
Yeah, I mean, it's died down somewhat, but I mean, on the first record, God, dude, it gets real old because you have to answer it every time you talk to anybody. I mean, like I said, the masks were really just for visual. We didn't want to look like every other band. We wanted to look different, add a visual aspect to it. There's actually a few photographers in the band. So that was a big inspiration for us, was the visuals behind just the music, and it kind of becomes a double-edged sword. And I don't regret using them at all, but I will say, after a while it gets a little trying, especially because, like you said, viral videos. We've answered sometimes. All you got to do is look, and the question's been answered. But I don't mind, man. It's my job, dude.
Yeah. With Johnny Three Tears, frontman of Hollywood Undead. Now, we've got the rock guys that are really passionate about their rock. Do you ever get the rock guy that just hates the rap guy at the show and, it causes a little bit of a ruckus?
All our fans are rock kids. We have hip-hop elements, but we're still very much a rock band. Everything's live instrumentals, live and on the record. So we never really get, rap dudes who are into us. If anything, I don't think they like us that much. We tour with Avenged Sevenfold and do tours with Atreyu and those kinds of bands. We don't tour with, Snoop Dogg, so we really don't get that kind of stuff. And the majority of our fans are all rock kids, but, the majority of people like hip-hop, too. So I like it because they're all rock kids, but they get into that aspect of music. We grew up in L.A., and hip-hop's such a huge influence growing up here that it's unavoidable. And, we grew up on it. When we decided to do Hollywood Undead, that was a conscientious decision. Like, everybody listen to rap. Like, let's add some of these elements to it because it's the kind of music we wanted to write. Because we'd done like 3 regular rock bands before that, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
We did the whole thing, and it got old. And we wanted to do something that not necessarily for other people, more just stuff that we like to do. And when we did that, it finally responded, and we actually got signed and went on the road and got to do all the things we wanted to do. So I'm grateful that we stuck with what we wanted to do.
Now, you guys have 50,000 followers on Twitter. Is it humbling to know that at any moment you can speak to that many people with one click?
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't even know how to work Twitter. Someone else in the band does all the twats or twits.
Yeah?
I'm not an internet guy, dude. I can't even type. So maybe it's humbling for him, but I doubt it. He's kind of a cocky jerk.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But,
well,
yeah,
I'm going to tweet this interview, and I was hoping that you guys would retweet it because I ran the numbers. I have 0.2% the amount of followers you do.
Oh, absolutely retweet it, dude. Wait, how do we do that? Do you tweet me and then I twat you?
Twat. I want to go with twat. There's so many jokes about twatter.
I know. Let's twat. Let's twit. Well, dude, send us a link to our page, and I'll tell our guy. He's the drummer in our band. He does all the internet stuff. I'll tell him to make sure he retweets, twits the interview.
Right on, man. This is Johnny 3 Tears from Hollywood Undead. We're looking forward to the new album, American Tragedy, in stores April 5th. You can Hear Me Now right here on KCLB Rocks. Johnny, I appreciate the time, man.
Hey, my pleasure, brother.
Afternoons with Conklin.
Oh, man! Oh, no! Oh, wow! Anything I do, thank you! Bye!
93.7 KCLB Rocks.